17. So this number, I've seen it a lot in my life, but I never really thought about it. 11 was always my favorite number, the master number. It was always my football shirt number. And since I was about 5 years old, it was my favorite number. I don't know why. But I wanted to look into the number 17, and I've come across some really interesting things. So first of all, I want to start off with the Grand Lodge of England. So the organisation known as the Premier Grand Lodge of England was founded on the 24th of June, 1717. Funny how it was the 6th month. As the Grand Lodge of England and Westminster, originally concerned with the practice of Freemasonry in London and Westminster, it soon became known as the Grand Lodge of England. So I keep telling you that the Freemasons, the Jesuits, Society of Jesus, they run the show. Professional sports, politics, mainstream media, pharmaceutical companies, public education, the list goes on. They've got their finger in it. They've built up this empire for what I believe over the last 300 years. And since they came up with their master plan, they've indoctrinated every living person on this earth. As soon as we're born, we're indoctrinated, and we are forced to live in a corrupt system, and we accept it. And we need to stop accepting it, because it's only going to get worse if we keep accepting it. So President Biden signed 17 executive orders on his first day in office. Interesting, because the White House is located on the 17th Street in Washington. Also, I noticed that Trump had a total of 17 US flags behind him when giving his last speech as US president. I notice these things. It's the way my brain works. QAnon, massive psyop. Interesting how Q is the 17th letter of the alphabet and QAnon are pro-Trump. QAnon was set up by the Jesuit order as another form of distraction and basically to get you to idolize a false idol in Trump, who's a massive Jesuit. And yes, I can say that because he was Jesuit educated, like nearly all of the presidents. Also, we know here the White House is located on the 17th Street in Washington. Why is it called Washington again? Oh, it's named after George Washington, the first US president who was a 33-degree Freemason. And when was the first lodge set up? 1717. Religion. In Exodus, the 10 Commandments are explained in 17 verses. The 10 Commandments, of course, are the laws man must obey in his attributions towards God and his fellow men. Guys, accept that the Society of Jesus are playing the role of God. And we obey what they tell us to do. We obey their laws. Whatever it is that they say is wrong or right, we play along with them. We pay the taxes. Where do you think those taxes are going? Oh, well, they're fixing the roads. Yeah, sure. Go to Los Angeles, San Francisco, London even. These super wealthy cities. You still see massive holes in the roads. That money is going in the Jesuit order's pockets. Oh, well, I pay taxes and my brother pays taxes and my best friend pays taxes. What makes you think you shouldn't? None of us should be paying taxes. Jesus traveled 17 years for his preparation before his public ministry. Convenient. Followers of Islam must perform 17 rakahas or set of prayers and movements in each of their 5 daily times of prayer. I've said this now for months. I think that the holy books were written by the Jesuits. I do. I think they came up with multiple different ones with similar stories, and they've set them up to divide people. If we all believed in the same book, the same Bible, the same story, the same one, we would unite. But no. Religions created so much divide throughout history. And when you really look at the books, they're pretty much the same with different names. And I've decoded a lot of the major words in these books, and I keep seeing 74s, 47s, 201s, and 56s. Massive Jesuit numbers. Makes you think. United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. The United Nations are an incredibly corrupt organization. Again, it's just the Jesuits, the UN. They pretend that they care when they really don't. Look into Agenda 21, look into Agenda 30. The fact that it's called Agenda says it all. They have massive agendas. So I went on their website and I came across this. The Sustainable Development Goals or Global Goals are a collection of 17 interlinked global goals designed to be a blueprint to achieve a better and more sustainable future for all. Absolutely not. Okay, if they go ahead with their goals, and we play along with them and we believe what they tell us. Like we keep believing these liars. Again, the word believe, those middle three words, lied. We keep believing these liars, just like we do with presidents. Everything's going to be good now. Biden's in power. Come on. Are you kidding me? What a joke. How did it work with Trump? How did it work with Clinton? With Obama? With Bush? Same Jesuit puppets. All that happens is that these Jesuits get more and more power, more control, more money, and the rest of us basically are getting whipped. We are slaves to this Jesuit system. So yeah, 17 interlinked global goals designed to be a blueprint to achieve a better and more sustainable future for all. Give me a break. How dare you? Yeah, do you remember her, Greta, giving a speech for the UN? Jesuit puppet. Music. The number 17 is an incredibly common song title. Some of the most well-known artists have released songs titled 17, or including the number in some way. Include Prince, Kings of Leon, Taylor Swift, The Smashing Pumpkins, Jimmy Eat World, Stevie Nicks, and the Sex Pistols. The likes of Prince, Taylor Swift, Stevie Nicks, Jesuits. Any member of these bands like Kings of Leon, The Smashing Pumpkins, Jimmy Eat World, Jesuits. And it makes me sick because I know a lot of incredibly talented musicians who will never ever achieve success because they won't get to the top because they don't have the bloodline, they're not a part of an order, they're not part of a secret society, and then they end up performing in front of 50 to 100 people when they should be performing in front of hundreds of thousands. But unfortunately, that's not how it works. It's the same in professional sports. I should have made it as a pro footballer. I didn't have the bloodline. Simple as that. I wasn't part of a secret society with my family. And it makes me sick. And people idolize these people. Yeah, do they have talent? Most of them, yeah. A lot of them don't have as much talent as people give them credit for. Harvey Weinstein, sick human being, guy who ran Hollywood. Again, look at all the awards he received because he's a sicko. And we go to the cinema and we buy our junk food and we watch these movies, which, yes, they're entertaining. The special effects are incredible. Yeah, great stories. But Harvey Weinstein, horrific human being. But recently he settled for 17 million for sexual misconduct. He sexually abused multiple people. And now he can settle for 17 million and all's good, is released. These people can buy themselves out of jail. Do you know why? Because the Jesuit order run all the prisons. Why are private prisons billion-dollar industries? Why? Like hotels, they want to fill them up. The more people they have in, the more money that they make. It's a disgrace. And these people, I think every prime minister or president should have been arrested for their crimes against humanity. But no, they get book deals. They get Nobel Prizes. NBA. LeBron just won an NBA championship with the LA Lakers to help guide them to 17 all-time NBA championships. And he did it in his 17th season as a professional. How convenient, LeBron, you massive Jesuit. Of course you're going to win this year and the following year to go 6-6 in NBA Finals. LeBron equals 66. LeBron James equals 66. Lakers equals 66. It's so obvious. LeBron signed with the Lakers on the 1st of July, which can be written 1-7, like 17. Oh, wonder why he signed on that date. Interesting how the Lakers and Boston Celtics are now tied for 17 NBA championships. Well, that's about to change this year when the Lakers get to 18. 18 plus 17 is 35. Catholic equals 35. It's no wonder the Boston Celtics have been so dominant in basketball. Celtics, because it's the Catholics, the Society of Jesus, who are basically behind all of these sports that they use as a weapon of mass distraction, and they make billions of dollars every passing year through merchandise, through ticket sales, through television deals, through gambling. That's why these Jesuit puppets, elite athletes, why they're called elite athletes, because the elite own these athletes. They are slaves. These NBA players are slaves. They have to follow scripts. They have to follow orders. They don't have the great life that you think they have. World records. The youngest person to have ever played in a football World Cup final was the Brazilian superstar Pelé, who was 17 at the time. Pelé, I don't care how many World Cups you've won, you wasn't that good. Okay, I've seen highlights of you, you wasn't that good. Again, it's all scripted. Pelé, 17 at the time of playing in a World Cup final. He was also a Jesuit at the time of playing in the World Cup final at 17. The youngest recipient of the highly sought-after Nobel Prize was Malala Yousafzai, who was just 17 at the time. Malala's story is a lie. It's a lie. No wonder that the BBC reported it all. No wonder she won a Nobel Prize. Anyone who wins a Nobel Prize is corrupt, are liars, are sick human beings. Malala, I'm not falling for your propaganda. You got shot, did you? You got shot in the face? What, by a water pistol? William Shakespeare never existed, in my opinion. But supposedly Shakespeare wrote 17 comedies in the 17th century, and Hamlet reigned 17 years. And when I'm talking about William Shakespeare, guys, I'm not talking about the 81-year-old from Coventry in England who was the first man to be vaccinated. What a disgrace. What an absolute mockery. James Bond 007. James Bond, the Sean Connery version, played the lucky number in a game of roulette. Funny how if you add up all the numbers on a roulette table, it gets you 666. I wonder who came up with the concept of the roulette table. In Diamonds Are Forever, years earlier in the 1960s, Connery had bet on the number 17 for 3 spins in a row and ended up winning over 20,000. Again, pretty much anyone who plays James Bond gets knighted. They get an OBE or they get a sir in front of the name. Why? Because they're massive Jesuits. Gandhi. Gandhi was assassinated on January the 30th, 1948 at 1717. Check it for yourself. They have to tell you. They mock us. In India, they speak 17 languages, and Gandhi was Indian. Interesting. And let's leave it here with Tom Brady. I've said I truly believe that Tom Brady is going to get 7th ring with the Buccaneers. He went there for a reason. The Gronk came out of retirement for a reason. So Tom Brady announced that he was leaving the New England Patriots on March the 17th, 2020. Of course, he announced it on the 17th. It's funny as well, Lil Wayne on November the 17th was arrested for having possession of a gun on the 17th. I've told you what might happen to him the day of the Super Bowl, the day Brady likely gets his 7th ring. We'll see what happens, but I really don't believe Lil Wayne's going to see 39. According to the Bible, number 17 is a symbol of victory and perfection. It refers to the spiritual perfection in the first place. We should have in mind that 17 is actually the combination of numbers 10 and 7. Number 10 is a symbol of a perfect order, while number 7 is usually used as a symbol of perfection. Well, isn't it interesting how Brady can get his 7th ring in his 10th Super Bowl? And Brady can get his 7th ring, as I've said. I'm sure they're going to play Ariana Grande's 7 rings whilst he receives that. And 17 is the 7th prime number. Interesting. Look at this with Bond. We bet on the number 17 on the roulette table for 7 spins. And we said that 17 is the 7th prime number. So I can see that as a 7 and 3 spins, 7 and 3 for Brady, baby. We'll see what happens with that. I know the Chiefs have a lot of good numbers and rituals, but that's what always happens in Super Bowls. Both teams have amazing numbers and rituals. I'm going with Brady. And get this, the number 17 is associated with the zodiacal sign of Capricorn, which is the goat. What did I call Brady again? Oh, yes, the goat. What does goat equate to in gematria? 43. How old's Tom Brady? 43. Where's the Super Bowl going to be? In Florida. What does Florida equate to? 43. What does football equate to? 43. Makes you think, doesn't it? What's 4 plus 3? 7. Brady can get 7th ring. Well, there you have it. I've discussed Tom Brady, Gandhi, James Bond, William Shakespeare, world records, the NBA, Harvey Weinstein, music, United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, religion, and I've connected 17 with US politics. And I've connected it with the Grand Lodge of England, the Masonic Lodge. But let me just quickly go back to music. The music industry is run by Jesuits. People like Dr. Dre does not have his own record label, or Jay-Z, or Eminem. They are owned, they are slaves. Are they Jesuits? Yes. Are they slaves? Yes. There you have it, guys. I hope you've learned a lot about the number 17. I know I did.